Hello and welcome to myfinancesteacher.org. Just a quick update on Bitcoin and what I've been doing with it. As you see over here, a few days ago I posted a trade on Bitcoin trying to catch a bounce up from the 50-day moving average, as you see over here on the chart, with the target being somewhere close to the upper range of the Bollinger Bands. Unfortunately, as I've just updated the members, I've been stopped out today with a stop loss of 1.8% below the entry price, and my commitment was only 10% into that trade. If you followed me as a member, I apologize for the small loss. On the other hand though, I don't provide financial advice, and you have to make up your own mind based on the information I provide on my actual personal trades. So that is a quick update on what's been happening over the last few days, and now zooming out to have a look at the Bitcoin cycle in general. I'm starting to think that counting the cycle all the way since the 13th of March is incorrect, because this way of counting is giving us a 94-day cycle already, which is pretty long. The longest cycle, as I mentioned, over the last few years was, I think, 97 days long. So if in the next few days, let's say 2 to 5 days, we don't see a significant drop in Bitcoin price, possibly close to another retest of the 200-day moving average, then I would have to admit that the previous low on the 10th of May was actually the low for the 2-month cycle low that started on the 13th of May. In either case, whether the cycle did finish at close to regular duration of 58 days but with a very modest decline on the 10th of May, or we are still going to see a more significant decline over the next few days, what we've been seeing over the last few weeks is basically a sideways move where Bollinger Bands are getting narrower and narrower. What I also see on the chart is something that looks like a bearish wedge, although you could also call it a channel because the narrowing of this wedge is very slight. And this bearish wedge has been another reason why I've been expecting a drop out of this wedge to give us a more clear cycle low, maybe even over the next couple of days. Looking at 14-day RSI, it's also relatively flat, and back here on the 10th and 11th of May it only dropped to 52.7, which still might not be deep enough for a 2-month cycle low in Bitcoin. So the summary basically is that with the narrowing of the Bollinger Bands, usually a violent move can be expected. So a violent move either down to, let's say, 200-day moving average, or a violent move up past the recent highs on the 1st of June into the highs of a new cycle that has been going on since the 10th of May. Although nobody knows the future, a more appropriate forecast would give us at least a breakdown of probabilities. This sideways move in Bitcoin, coupled with a relatively modest decline into what might have been a 2-month cycle low, has kind of messed up the cycle count for me personally. So if you have your opinions to share, you are welcome to do so in the comments below. However, again, in either case, whether the violent move out of the narrow Bollinger Bands takes place to the upside or to the downside, we can still take on an appropriate trading strategy. And the correct thing to do at the moment is, of course, to wait and see which direction the move will take place. If we see a drop in the next few days, then the correct strategy would be to wait for the bounce out of that drop so that we don't catch a falling knife. And once you see that bounce, that would be the time to enter with a manageable stop loss into the new Bitcoin cycle with a nice potential for gains. On the other hand, if the cycle did finish on the 10th of May, what we might see over the next few days is a pop out of the Bollinger Bands to the upside. In that case, you are waiting for the Bollinger Bands to be broken to the upside. Potentially, you could also wait for the recent highs on the 1st of June to be broken as well. And once those are broken, that's when you would enter again with a manageable stop loss and with a relatively attractive risk-reward ratio. So these are the possibilities over the next few days. I still don't really like that this decline in the first half of May was very mild. So I would say maybe there is a 55% chance we're going to see a decline over the next few days versus, say, 45% chance that we're not going to break, let's say, the late May lows. Whichever happens though, I'll make sure to update the members at myfinancesteacher.org, where I post the information about my personal trades immediately after executing them, and my colleague writes very educational newsletters sharing his extensive experience of investing over a number of decades. That's all from me. Now back to you. Share your opinion on what's going to happen to Bitcoin over the next few days in the comments below. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't, and good luck in your trades.